Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Okay, girl, buckle up because I have a story to tell you about my in-laws. You know I've been stressing about the baby. Every little thing has me on edge because I just want him safe and healthy. The audacity of these people is driving me crazy. My mother-in-law bought car seats for both her car and my husband, S, but she never mentioned they were secondhand and still smelled like a cigarette lounge. When we arrived for dinner, the pack and play they gave the baby reeked of ash. I tried to stay calm, but my blood pressure spiked. I asked my husband why they would do that, and he just shrugged, saying, "You know how she is." I confronted my mother-in-law, asking her to wash the seat, and she rolled her eyes, calling me dramatic. She told me I was too anxious and needed to relax. I packed up our things and left, but the car ride home was silent because my husband didn't want to argue. And then she dropped a bomb that would change everything. So there I was, holding the baby like a life raft, wondering why my mother-in-law would even think it was okay to give us a smoky pack and play. I asked, "Why would she do that?" We told her no. My husband just shrugged again. "You know how she is." The kicker, they weren't just buying the seats, they were pressuring us to install them without checking if they were safe. I tried to reason, but the conversation spiraled. My mother-in-law dismissed my concerns, saying, "It's fine, you're overreacting." I could feel my patience slipping. Then, just as I thought the night couldn't get any worse, I discovered something hidden in the back of the car that made my stomach drop. I couldn't believe what I was about to discover next. I'm holding the baby, trying not to gag from the smoke smell, and I gently ask, "Would you mind washing this? The odor is really strong." My mother-in-law rolls her eyes like I've insulted her ancestry and says, "It's not that bad, you're being dramatic." She then tells me, "You're too anxious, you need to relax." My blood is boiling, but I keep my voice steady. I tell her, "If you can't keep the car seat clean, we can't use it for our child." She snaps back, "You're making a mountain out of a molehill." The tension is palpable, and I can feel the room closing in. Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, she said something that made my skin crawl. Instead of arguing, I packed up our stuff, handed the smoky toys back, and said, "We're leaving." The car ride home was silent because my husband knew better than to open his mouth. But here's where it gets really infuriating. As we pulled away, my mother-in-law called out, "You'll regret this, you'll see." I could feel the weight of her words, but I also felt a surge of resolve. I decided that no more would we tolerate unsafe conditions for our baby. I called my husband, and we made a plan to confront the situation head-on, setting boundaries that could not be ignored. You won't believe how we finally stood our ground and what happened when we did.